How do I pause that? So good morning, Action Zone Facebook family. So Rosie's not here this morning, which means that Valerie had lots of technical challenges. But today we have the amazing Maxine Reyes here to share with us about, we're going to get to know Maxine and the Valor Program. So good morning, Maxine.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Finally.
Well, thanks for being so patient with me. You know, I'm just like, everybody knows that dials in Monday mornings that I am technically challenged. So anyway, Maxine, tell us a little bit about you. You know, you have an interesting military history, and then we'll talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial endeavors, but tell everybody about you.
Well, I am Maxine Reyes. I am a 22-year veteran, 11 years Air Force, and 11 years Army. I was a tech sergeant before I transferred over to the Army as an officer. We're a military family. My husband also serves, but I'm a combat veteran. I served in Afghanistan, other deployments, Qatar and Haiti, and I was a finance officer after I left the Air Force. So now in Tampa Bay, my husband brought me here because he was stationed at MacDill, and we decided to stay here locally because we're Floridians, and Tampa is just an awesome place to retire. And got to meet, folks like you, Valerie, and Rosie, and the rest of the team of Action Zone. Became a part of Action Zone in 2019 when I went through that cohort, and I've just been pursuing my passions and just really on this entrepreneurial journey. But I decided to take on a position to help Chapters Health Foundation with their Valor Program. It honors veterans and first responders. It's a brand new program, and I'm just ecstatic to talk about it and share about some of the activities that we have coming up. And of course, whatever else questions that you have, because this is Action Zone and we talk about entrepreneurship. So whatever questions that you have of me regarding that, then I'm also willing to answer.
Well, I guess I never asked you. So you're from Miami. You grew up in Miami. Yeah.
Yes.
But I didn't know that your husband was also from Florida.
Well, he became a Floridian because of me.
Oh, okay. By way of marriage. Okay, I get it.
By way of marriage, but loved it and knew that we were coming back here. We weren't going back to any other places that he was stationed at or lived at as a military brat.
Yeah. I know you had mentioned to me before that he really was the I guess the driving force in trying to convince you to settle in Tampa.
Yes.
So Tampa, we are so excited that he was able to talk you into staying in Tampa. Yeah. So that's
he loves the river walk. He loves the convenience of living near downtown and still being by the beach. Be able to take our daughter to Disney. As a matter of fact, they just left this morning.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. I can't wait to see the pictures on social media.
I know. But yeah, we love living here. Tampa Bay is super convenient to everything else that matters to us. And we just love having access to MacDill Air Force Base and all the resources that's here. Tampa is continuing to grow, and knowing that we have Action Zone, and I know you represent Bunker Lab and other organizations, FAVOB, there's so many resources for veterans that's right here in Tampa Bay, and I'm just happy that I'm a part of it, and one of the persons that's leading some of the efforts as well for us.
That's great. And so just in case, I'm sure that it's not the case, but just in case there's someone listening that doesn't know what FAVOB is, it's the Florida Association of Veteran-Owned Businesses.
Yes.
It's headquartered, founded and headquartered in Orlando. We do have a Tampa chapter that Maxine is the vice president. Is that vice chair for the Tampa chapter. So if you are a veteran or military spouse entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, and or just want to support veteran entrepreneurs, come join us.
Yes.
Yeah. So talk to our audience a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey, because you have a lot of things that you do. So let's get to know Maxine the entrepreneur.
Okay. So I would say the official business now is Courage and Grace, is with Courage and Grace brands. And so that's consulting and coaching. We're also working on some merchandise as well. But the main part that we've been working on for the past several years has been the nonprofit part of it. We've been doing the work, but we haven't really made it official until recently. It's now a 501c3. And we help women, veterans, underprivileged youth or underserved youth, and military families. So that's what the nonprofit is. But the journey continues. I mean, I am just dabbling into a lot of different things, because one thing I believe in after serving for 22 years is not doing something that doesn't make me feel like I've achieved things besides what I've done in the military. So I want to make sure that anything I do brings me joy, that I feel passionate about it, and it makes me want to just push myself even harder. This past year I've learned so much about myself and the paths that I want to go on. And so I don't restrict myself when it comes to entrepreneurship and just living life, period, because tomorrow is not promised. And after all these years of sacrifice and restrictions, I just want to be free to be me and follow my dreams. And so I may not, say one thing that I do as far as being an entrepreneur, because I am still learning, and I want to do something that I love and that I'm passionate about and that serves others, because that's the whole journey with entrepreneurship, or the main thing is really, it's a business, but you also want to make it something that others desire, that they're going to buy into, whether it's a service or a product. And so I'm doing Happily Joined for Couples, the nonprofit that serves the military community, women and military families, and underserved youth, because I've been a mentor for over 25 years. And then helping my daughter with her business as well. So what I'm learning, I'm teaching my daughter, and I'm helping her on her journey with her art, because I want her to do what she loves. And as an entrepreneur, I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing, I'm loving it, and also be able to make it a business. So yeah, that's my journey. Happily Joined and Courage and Grace. Those are my two main brands.
Okay, so I'm glad you talked about your daughter, because that was gonna be my next question. So Courage and Grace, what exactly do you do for women and families and underserved?
Well, for the nonprofit, because there's with Courage and Grace, the umbrella, and then there's the nonprofit. The nonprofit part of it is where we've been doing most of the work. For the women, we honor them, help them to transition from the military, collaborate with organizations like Action Zone, and point them into the right direction, whether they decide to do interviews, get their resumes worked on, or go the entrepreneurship route. And that's where we send them to different organizations that provides major resources for them to succeed after the military. I also share their stories, and I'm doing a series right now, a video series or vlog, where I interview women veterans who transitioned from the military and are now going on that path of entrepreneurship or working with the industry. But one thing that I really pay keen attention to, because of my giving to my communities over the years, is what are they doing post-service? And it's not a requirement for everyone to continue to serve our veteran community, but it is important for me to see that they're continuing to do either veterans or the youth or some kind of organization that they're giving back to. And so that is one of the items that I look at to make sure that I am helping to motivate people to give to their community, but recognizing them as well. And that's one thing that we do with Courage and Grace, the foundation. As far as the youth, my husband and I have a program into one of the high schools here, local high schools, where underprivileged youth, teach them life skills that they'll use in, after high school and during the time right now while they're in. And then with the military families, we host events that all couples are invited to, but we try to have it so that military families do not have to pay for workshops or some of these enrichment events that we host. And so that's what the third part of the nonprofit is. We work with the women veterans, we work with the underprivileged youth and military couples. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
That's awesome. So with Courage and Grace, Maxine hosts a women, veteran, and military spouse brunch once a
I
month.
didn't forget to mention that. Thank you.
Yeah. And so the next brunch is when?
On the 17th, this Saturday at Oxford Exchange.
Oxford Exchange. And you absolutely have to register. You can't just show up because she has reservations and we might need to add numbers.
Yes. So we don't want to show up if we only have 15, 20 seats, we have to stick with that unless we get notice ahead of time. So yeah.
That which I go to, and it's been amazing to just be around so many female veterans and military spouses, and amazingly, almost all of them want to be entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Or they are entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
So I think that it is it's fascinating to me how many military people want to go into entrepreneurship. It really is. So anyway, we have quite a few of our women brunch members that are going to be in our next Action Zone cohort. I'm so excited. I'm just really excited about that.
Yeah, and just you being there, thank you so much for attending all of them so far. Having you there helps because when they have questions about the route to take, then you are there to present on, and offer them the information that Action Zone offers, and also Bunker Labs. So thank you for being there, and thank you for just being a major resource for them as well.
Oh, thank you. So you mentioned your daughter, which I think is just so cool that she also is very entrepreneurial in a very creative way. So talk to us a little bit about where she's at right now with her journey.
So she's an artist, visual artist, mostly digital. Her goal is to work for Disney and do animation. And so I am helping her by getting her the right mentors, and also she has great interest in learning Japanese. So Japanese is her second language. We do have a private tutor for her, but with her art, I mentioned the language because she is fascinated with the whole culture. And animation is something that she does on her spare time. It's something I know that she's passionate about. So I wanted to encourage her. Both my husband and I wanted to encourage her so she'll know that she can actually pursue this if that's what she wants to do. We've asked her over the years if that's what she loves, if that's what she wants to do, and she said yes. So we're just guiding her into the right direction. We've created some merchandise for her brand with her own artwork on there. If I had known that we're going to talk about it, I would actually have brought some stuff. But next time you can probably have her on here and then she can talk about it.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, but I do a lot of public relations for myself, for the music and the public speaking. So anytime I get those opportunities, I actually think of her and how we can leverage those opportunities for her as well. So she's done 2 interviews, actually 3. The next one is going to be launched or premiered on Wednesday, the 15th, or whichever day the 15th is at 8 p.m. on PBS. So WEDU is a local PBS station, and it's going to be on PBS nationwide. So they'll be featuring her and her artwork, and they interviewed her, and I pretty much let her run that show the last time because she's getting used to it. She's still shy, but I really want her to become more confident with interviews because it took me multiple to get to where I am right now talking to you. So I want her to feel the same and gain the confidence so she can just handle it on her own. So you'll see that on the 15th with her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
Just real quick, your husband, he's settling into being retired from the military.
Yes, he is. As you can tell, as I said, this is a weekday and they're at Disney.
I love it. I love it. So tell us about the Valor program.
Okay, so just to give you a brief history of the Valor program, and Chapters Health on a whole, Chapters Health, the efforts to support veterans was part of the We Honor Veterans program. We Honor Veterans is a recognition program for hospices. It is a membership organization which provides recognition to organizations that demonstrate systematic commitment to improving care for veterans. Their focus is mostly on for-profit. And so because we are a nonprofit organization, we really wanted to support our veterans and incorporate first responders as well. And so now we are independent of we're on the Veterans Program, even though with them, we were able to become a level 4 certified. So we created the Valor Program to provide more services to our veterans and also first responders. We do pinning ceremonies, Valor Cafes, which is so the pinning ceremonies, we honor them with the pin that looks like this. This is the logo, which was created by Linda Hughes. She's an Air Force veteran. And on the logo, it has the service member rendering a salute, the nurse, firefighter, and then the police officer. So this encapsulates everyone that we serve. And that's the group. And now we do those pinning ceremonies. They could be in a private setting for the hospice homes that we serve, or in a public setting. We could come to an action zone event where you have all the cohorts there. And because they're all from the service, they're all military or caregivers, we can actually honor them because we have the caregiving pin the angel pin that we give to the caregivers as well. So that's the pinning ceremony in a nutshell. Then we have the Valor Cafes, which is a networking peer-to-peer activity. It's pretty intimate. And in the Valor Cafes, we offer the opportunity for veterans to share their stories. I've been through multiple so far in the past nearly a year since I've been with the chapter's help, and I can tell you that the stories vary, and it's mostly the older veterans that I've had the opportunity to hear a lot of their stories. World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans, and they share about stories that they haven't even shared with their family members. So it's quite an intimate activity. There's coffee, tea, just refreshments and pastries like you're at, say, one of those major cafes. And so that's what that environment is like, but it's quite intimate. And that is not public, like everyone won't show up to a Valor Cafe because it's really for that veteran to have that intimate, safe space to share their story. And the third main service that we provide is the honor walks. And the honor walks, they were implemented to acknowledge appreciation and respect for the veteran after they pass, and the first responder after they pass away. It's a final salute to men and women who served. All available team members participating by lining the wall of the hospice home. It's led by the chaplain, and they have the family members there. The patient's body is draped in the American flag, and it's traveled down the hallway for that last time to the hearse while being saluted. And also we have the 7 bell tolls in the hospice home, and for the veterans, and then 3 bell tolls for the first responders. So it's quite a somber moment, but really a moment of honor. If it's a veteran, we render that salute, that final salute to them. And so that's pretty much it in a nutshell for the honor walks. But you have to actually be able to be a participant to really feel the emotions that's in the room, and just the honor, of being a service member. Because my first one that I experienced, I actually cried at that one because, I could see myself there, I could see my husband there. And just knowing the time that we served, the sacrifices away from our family members, and now we're parting from them permanently. So yeah, one day, hopefully you'll be invited to one of them if it's something that you're interested in, or anyone who's watching. You're more than welcome to find out more about this and be a participant as well. And then we definitely want to be subject matter experts with the VA. So we are community partners with the VA hospital, James A. Haley, just to learn more about the benefits that are offered. First of all, that Florida is like the third largest veteran population in the United States. And then 70% of veterans, either they don't use their benefits because they don't know about it, or it's just so hard to navigate that they just say forget about it. So what we're trying to do is become the subject matter experts, be able to find the right contact at the VA so that our patients and the veterans that we serve will have a direct contact and the right information so they can explore and use their benefits that they earned. They worked super hard for to get where they are and to serve, and all the sacrifices that they went through, they deserve to use the benefits that they earn. So those are the main
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
that's really, I mean, all of that's amazing. And I welcome invitation of, if I'm available to recognize, our veterans that passed.
Yeah.
And to hear their stories, because I love to hear veteran stories. That's wonderful. But the VA benefits, I actually didn't even enroll in the VA until I was retired for 5 years. I hadn't retired.
Really?
Yeah, it was just
Wow.
the idea. It was just like so daunting to think about going to the VA and
Mhm.
getting all done. So I live over here in St. Petersburg. I go to Bay Pines VA, and I
Okay.
tell people all the time, we hear the horrible stories about VA healthcare. I have amazing, amazing healthcare through Bay Pine.
Yeah, same
Um,
here. But mine is through James Haley, and I haven't had any issues. I've heard other people said they had issues, and then I just help however way I can, and then direct them to the right
okay.
persons. But I personally do not have any complaints at all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and don't be late. I joke all the time. I haven't been on time for anything since I retired from the Army. But the VA, well, at least for Bay Pine, I
Yeah,
can't be late for a medical appointment because they are on time.
good, good.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so
I
talk
try
to
to
us
keep.
about the traveling wall.
Yeah, so I was gonna mention before you ask that question is
Oh,
that that's fine. That three of the activities that we have coming up outside of the Valor cafes and the pinning ceremonies, we have honor flight that we're sponsoring. So
oh,
one of the goals for Chapters Health Foundation and the Valor Program is to help to bring veterans across the state of Florida to Washington, D.C., so they can go and see the memorial through the honor flight. And so we do
hmm,
the fundraising on our end, and we sponsor these honor flights. We've been working with the Orlando the honor flight of Central Florida. And so they're in Orlando. We'll be funding or paying for the flight that's going out on October 29th out of Orlando. Um, it's going to pay for the veterans that are going to be traveling, 60 veterans and their guardians. And so
wow,
that's just one, and it's actually the first flight that we're funding. We're working with St. Petersburg, that's the honor flight of West Central Florida, and we're working with the flight to honor out of Polk County with the Polk County Veterans Council. And so we are, working our way across Central Florida and across the state of Florida. And Chapters Health is now in 6 counties in Georgia as well. So working our way up, but the entire state of Florida, we definitely cover and support. And so there's the veterans. The next one is the Vietnam, actually it's not Vietnam, it's the American Veterans Traveling Tribute, which includes the Vietnam Veterans Memorial as well. It's 80% of the size of the wall that's in Washington, D.C., about 300 feet, size of a football field. That's going to be coming here at the Julian B. Lane Park, October 13th through the 16th. Now the wall arrives on the 12th, the evening of the 12th, or late afternoon around between 3 and 4 to Julian B. Lane Park. It will be escorted from Steinbrenner Field. That is going to be staged. It's going to be escorted by probably 150 to 200 motorcycles, military vehicles, all the vehicle organizations that's here that supports the military or military affiliated. They will be coming out to support us and escorting the wall from the field. That's where the New York Yankee does their practices or training. So it's going to be a huge event. We're anticipating thousands. The wall itself usually garner around 20,000 people over the 4 days weekend, and so are the 4 days of display. And that's what the owner told us. By the way, Don Allen is the builder for this wall. He's a Special Forces retired lieutenant colonel, and he's the builder for this wall and the owner. So we work closely with him, and we're just looking forward to seeing how many people are going to show up to support. The entire community is welcome to come out. It's a free event. We're encouraging schools, students to come out and learn about these veterans whose name are on the wall and the sacrifices that they made for their names to be up there, and we're here to honor them and share their stories as well. The Strides Performing Arts Center will be having some of their students come out to portray the life of the stories for some of the veterans that's on the wall. And that's how close we want to include the students. We want them involved, and so for them to learn and be able to portray that, they have to do their research on these veterans. Blake High School is one of the high schools that's here that's going to be participating. We have Color Guard, Sea Cadets that's going to be participating. We're still working with different branches of the service to see if they could come out, but we have Patriot Guard, so many different organizations that I can't even think of because there's so many of them right now that's going to be coming out to participate. American Legion, and of course, I'll be there every day. So you'll come out and, you know, whatever questions that you have, if you already know me, if you have any more questions, feel free to send me a note. But I would love to share this email address if you would like to be a volunteer, because we need volunteers to do the security for the wall. We have to secure it for 24 hours a day for the 4 days that's going to be here. So if you're with a church group or any group that can perform security, feel free to come out, and we'll do like 4-hour timeline, 4-hour
Block
increments.
yeah.
Increments or time blocks for you to come and just give whatever time you have. We need folks to help to set up the wall, about 30 to 40 persons, and then the same for tearing down the wall on the 16th. So the email address, which we'll make sure it's typed in somewhere, but it's valorprogram@chaptershealth.org. And then we have a volunteer coordinator. She's keeping track of all the names and the different positions that you'll be volunteering with, and so we would love to have more volunteers. So thank you, Valerie, for just including us with this. And by the way, so there's the wall that's going to be there for 4 days, but our annual event, excuse me, is Rock the Dock. So Rock the Dock is our gala, and it's informal. You come dressed in rock clothes like you go to a rock concert. And I was at the last one last year briefly, but from what I saw and what I heard, it's an amazing event, very informal, but they do the same things that all the other galas with auction items, entertainment, food, and all that. And you can find out a lot more. I'll share the link to the website where you can find out more about Rock the Dock. As I said, it's an annual event, but this year it will benefit, the proceeds will benefit the Valor Program. So definitely please go out and support by becoming a sponsor or partner. The website, we'll make sure that it's links so that you can feel free to peruse the website and share with your network, share with your email list, and let's go out and have an amazing time and honor these veterans whose names.
Yeah. So the email address and all the links that you mentioned when we end the show, put them in the chats. From on the video link, because people will come back and watch it, and they'll be going to the comments to look for all that stuff. Yeah. So really, how amazing would it be to be a volunteer, just to be around that wall? I can't believe it's 80% of the original size. That's going to be huge. Yeah. So if anybody out there, like Maxine said, if you're interested in volunteering to support the wall being here, if your kids are in school and you think it'd be a really cool opportunity for them to have a field trip to come learn about that, look for the links in the comments that Maxine's going to drop. Well, Maxine, thank you so much. One, for your patience, my technical challenges. No problem. Two, being an amazing, just an amazing human being. And like I said, Tampa is so lucky to have you here. I appreciate it. We love, just watching everything that you've got going on, to include singing the national anthem at the Rays game. So if you guys, that was so awesome. Look for Maxine singing the national anthem. I've been waiting for her to be invited to sing at one of our major sports teams, and finally the Rays realized that they need to have her sing. So we're going to be trying to get you. Is that your dog? I got two right here. get you to sing at the Bucks and at Lightning, hopefully.
Hopefully that would be awesome.
Yeah, we would love that. So, all right, Action Zone people, Maxine's got the world to change, so we're gonna let her go. Thanks for dialing in, and Maxine will be seeing you soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Bye, guys.
take care. Bye.
All right. Bye.